3, 2, 1. If I am a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I have with me one of the black belts in the broadcasting industry. He's my mentor. He's my friend, Noel Zarate. Sir, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Magkukwentuhan lang po kami. So, as always, alam niyo naman sa podcast ko, lagi kami nagkukwentuhan. So, for anybody or anyone who doesn't know who Noel Zarate is, sir, he's from the broadcasting industry, and ako personally, I want to know your story, like history, like where you started. Okay? So, saan po kayo
Sure.
nag-start? Go.
No, actually, thank you for having me. Unang-una, we're trying our best to stay home, and then I'm very happy with what you're doing right now. This is something you should have been doing a long time ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you get a lot of followers, dito, at least I'm part of your history.
Yes, definitely.
Actually, yeah. Well, you were my student. We have a broadcasting broadcasting workshop called the Newbies Broadcasting Academy, and then actually. If not very many people know that I was supposed to work with you also before when they were looking for a boxing analyst. Hindi lang natuloy-tuloy.
Yep.
And finally, we got to meet, and then now we're doing this, diba? So, yeah, I'm all yours. Whatever you want right now.
Okay. Like from the like as far as you can remember and you can recall, like your intro to the broadcasting industry.
Well, as I said in the workshop, kinuwento ko naman to sa lahat na naging estudyante ko. I actually started broadcasting since I was 8 years old. That's the first time I actually watched a PBA game. So, yun nangyayari nun, I used to turn down the volume of the TV. The broadcasters, of course, were Tito Dick Ildefonso and the late Emmy Arcilia. So, what I would do is I would turn down the volume. I would do my own play-by-play. And then my dad sort of saw na, mukhang papasok yata sa broadcasting one day. Actually got to watch my first PBA game, got to meet Dick Ildefonso and Emmy Arcilia. That stuck to me as an 8-year-old that I can do this. But of course, as all 8-year-olds go naman, you want to be a player muna. Ako gusto ko maglaro ng basketball. I thought I could be a basketball player. And then somewhere along the way, nalaman ko na, would you believe, and I told this in the podcast of your batchmate, JP Ruiz, every time I tried out for a basketball team before, I was actually quite skilled as a shooter, as a basketball player. Pero believe it or not, I usually got cut kasi sobrang payat ako. They would bump me, I would fall to the ground kasi sobrang payat. I was 5'8", 126 pounds. So I just kept on. I never quite made it as a basketball player because I was too thin. Now, 100 pounds later, I still didn't make a basketball team. Pero I wound up broadcasting, which is probably the second best thing. So actually, mahaba yung biyaheng yan. I'm sure you know already that I was actually a musician first.
Yes.
Before I became a broadcaster. So that was my entry point to college. I had to get into college via the UP College of Music, which is like 3 meters away from the UP College of Mass Communication. Mga ganun kadikit siya. So my intent was when nasa music ako, I would shift to Masscom after my second year. And obviously that never happened because I became a musician for a long, long time. And then eventually in the 90s, I met a man by the name of Bill Velasco, and that completely changed the course of my life.
Yes. And then from there, like the early years into the industry, diba? Like the early years into the industry, like how you were the new kid on the block. Diba? People won't really take you seriously. I mean, this is a new kid. What does he know? Diba? So how was the process of building rapport? How was the process of letting people know that, hey, I can do this. I can actually do this. And who helped you along the way?
Well, first, it was Bill. I mean, I credit my entire career to a very good friend. Bill Velasco is a lifelong friend. I call him one of my brothers already. Si Bill actually took a chance on me. We met in a workshop, in a seminar before. Tapos sinabi niya, why don't you try it out? Diba? So pumunta naman ako Cuneta Astrodome. I did it and I was terrible. I was really terrible. I started out as a courtside reporter. I was talking too fast. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't know how to listen. Kasi although you're a basketball player, you're not really used to listening to certain plays pag nire-report mo. So I was really terrible when I started. But then I kept on going, and I worked my way up from courtside to becoming a panelist. Actually, mga panelists namin, we were in the PBL. This was 1994. The
PBL.
Philippine Basketball League.
League.
Commissioner was Charlie Favis. Yeah. So panel noon was Bill Velasco was in the panel. Noli Ayala was also there. Danny Francisco, I don't know if you remember Danny Francisco, 6'7", 6'8" guy. Kami yung panel, kami yung original panel doon. And then eventually, I did that for a while, but then I had to put up a recording studio. I was still in the music industry actually.
Yeah.
So sabi ko, ipa part-time ko lang to, but I got so busy with the recording industry na sabi ko, itabi ko muna yan. And then in 1997, funny story nga yan, in 1997, we were celebrating the anniversary of our studio, and then the replay of the NBA Finals was on. This is the Utah Jazz versus the Chicago Bulls in 1997, you know. So what we did is, I did the same thing when I was 8 years old. Minute ko yung volume on TV, and then I did my own play-by-play. Siyempre, lasing na ako. And I was doing it when the other guy was also lasing. So we were all doing all sorts of drunkard things there. And it just so happens, one of the guests in our party was one of the producers of Vintage Enterprises, which was the outfit that handled the PBA before. So she placed a call during the party. Said, hey, you know what? You called somebody in the office. Said, you gotta check this guy out. We have a Siraulo here who might actually be good enough to work for us. So a few days later, uso pa nun, I don't know kung naabutan mo to, you're really young, pero uso dati, yung chat namin dati, it's called the internet chat or the IRC chat. Internet chat.
MIRC.
MIRC, Merc, di ba? Merc, we had Perch also. So I was chatting away, you know, may grupo kami doon, and then all of a sudden this private message comes out, di ba? It's from a guy by the name of Comet. Okay. Pangalan niya Comet. And then he said, are you Noel Zarate? Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about you, blah, blah, blah. Nag-usap kami siguro. After about 5 minutes, I asked, excuse me, what's your name? Who are you? And said, oh, I'm sorry, my name is Butch Maniego. Okay. So Butch Maniego at the time was the executive producer of the radio broadcast of the PBA. He was also a panelist, diba? So why don't you come over to the office and then we'll give you an audition. So ako naman, I was a musician. Diba? I was a musician. I had this beard, long hair, kulit-kulit ng maong. I mean, I was really in the music industry, diba? So I go over to their office in Carlos Palanca building in Makati. And then, as in, mukha ko rocker. Dumating ako, I had a fatigue jacket on, punit-punit na maong, nakita na yung tuhod ko, yung mga ganun tipo. And there were about 50 people there. They were auditioning also. So sabi ko, okay, so it's gonna be an audition pala. Akala ko mag-uusap-usap. So finally my turn came, went in front of a TV, which we did an off-tube game, na gano'n. So I did one quarter, then okay. Then sabi ko, they said they'll call us. Or they called me pala. So 2 weeks went by, I didn't think about it talaga, and then another call came in. And then Butch said, why don't you come over again? We want you to do another audition. This time mag-bis ka naman ng konti. So, ito na, the best na bis ko, naka-polo ko, hindi na punit yung maong ko, di ba? Pero mahaba pa rin buhok ko. So I went there, then I did the audition pa rin, and then I went home. So, wala. I mean, it's something I really didn't put my mind on. And then a few days later, one of the executives called me already. Her name is Olivia Fuerte. Said, why don't you come over to the office? Mag-bis ka naman. I heard the mag-bis ka naman. So I really put on like a necktie. Yeah. Everything like that. Then I went into this room. There were 5 people in the room. Hindi ko masyadong nakita. I just heard a booming voice say, "Oh my goodness, he looks like a goddamn wrestler." Somebody like that in an Indian tone, diba? I recognized the voice immediately. That was Ronnie Nathaniels in the room. Okay. So Ronnie Nathaniels say, "He looks like a goddamn wrestler." Long hair, diba? Then in the room was Ronnie Nathaniels, Olivia Fuerte, Bobong Velez, Ricky Velez, and Butch Maniego. They were all in the room. Yeah, Bobong Velez was the boss. I thought this was going to be like an interview thing. So, and then they just told me when I was in the room, sabi, congratulations, you made it. Can you work on Wednesday? So there was an audition for a radio panel slot. There was only one slot sa PBA radio at the time. This was 1997. There was one slot available. There's 50 of us who auditioned. And out of nowhere, I got the slot for that one. So when I got there, sabi ko, okay, it's my first ever PBA game na hindi ako upo dun sa malayo.
Doon sa medyo harap. Really medyo harap.
Yeah, we were in Araneta Coliseum right in front. And then I was in my necktie and everything like that. You know, then I was working with a man by the name of Mon Liboro. I've heard of Mon Liboro already. He's a veteran broadcaster. Sabi ko, this should be exciting. First game, I totally sucked. As in third quarter, parang gusto ko na umuwi
wait.
na. I wasn't getting anything right. My timing was off.
Uh-huh.
I kept on nabubulol na naman ako and everything like that. But then, as you said, the rookie in the industry, the older guys helped me out to get better. At the time, it was Mon Liboro, yung mga seniors, Randy Sakdalan, Rado Di Malibot. These are the guys in radio. They helped me to become better too, because I wasn't really good with Tagalog, believe it or not. Even if I got to UP, I grew up speaking English first. Kaya ito, okay, ito mga ganitong interview, diretso tayo English. I grew up speaking English first. And I learned Tagalog when I was grade 4, and I learned conversational Tagalog in college. In short, I was, di talaga. I mean, my Tagalog was really terrible. So that's something I really had to catch up on. And then my voice, I mean, you have a fantastic voice right now. Your speaking voice is nakakasinda. I mean, my voice was higher than my voice when I started, brother, was higher than Kenito Henson's voice. I was a tenor. I was singing the jingles that we were doing in a high voice. So I was like a tenor. So they just told me, work on that, lose the hair. I'll lose the hair.
Lose the hair?
You have no idea how long it took me to grow this, di ba? But a few months later, I actually did have a haircut na. And then I lost the beard and everything like that. So I actually have a picture. I can send it to you. Me working with the long hair pa. Pero wala nang balbas. In the
Pwede yan, pang-cover photo natin yan.
I'll give it to you. Yun, they helped me. They helped me get better, and to the point na napagsabay ko yung music at saka broadcasting. I didn't have to give up one for the other, and that from 1997 to 2010, that's 17 years. Napagsabay ko yung dalawa, and it took a lot of hardships to stay in the industry. Kasi number one, hindi naman ako kasi guwapo ni Franco Rolyoda. Number two, my voice needed a lot of work. But because I kept on studying and I kept on becoming better in terms of what the game had, I stayed and I found a way to stay until this time.
Kasi I mean, this has been a recurring theme, and I want to keep that formula within the episodes or the future podcast episodes I'll be doing, because this is something that I want to provide people with in terms of value information that people who made it or who are making it in the industries that they're in, they put in a lot of hard work. They put in a lot of hard work. They had to admit first that they didn't know anything, and then they put in the work, and then they had mentors. They had people who helped them along the way. Because personally, is like my personal view is, we're living in a world of instant gratification that people are already forgetting about the process. They're already thinking.
There's a process.
There
is really a process.
There is a process. These are the things that people are avoiding. These are the conversations that people are not having. They only think that everything is curated. You post something and it has to blow up immediately. And in terms of broadcasting or visual and audio communication, people think that it's easy, or people think that they can do it, diba? We live in that culture na parang kaya kong gawin yan, diba? But when it's actually time to do it,
kaya naman. I mean, Franco, you can do it. You can do it right now. You can work. You can work in this industry right now, because what you did is you invested in yourself. You went to a workshop where you got all the basics, not only from me, but from 8 other people that were in the industry. They gave you all the basics that you need now. Now you have to just develop it. And you have a very, very good situation working for you, because MMA is a very small market in the Philippines. At saka kaya mong i-penetrate yun. And you're with the right people also. I mean, there is a process. That is true.
Yes.
I mean, I almost got fired so many times. I got suspended so many times. I was replaced so many times because they didn't like me. Sometimes that still happens. I'm going up against somebody I know I can beat, but they choose the guy over me. Why? Kasi mas gusto siya. Diba? Mas pogi siya, mas bata siya. I mean, there are things that are like that up to now. And you just have to lick your chops and just continue na lang doing it. I mean, this process really takes a long time to develop. That's why 2001, you're actually the product of an idea that started in 2001. When sila Mon Liboro, Benji Santiago, and the late Barry Pascua and I got together, we decided to form a group and say, hey, let's teach these guys what sportscasting really is. All of the basics that we learned from trial and error, let's give it to these people, and in a classroom environment, in a safe environment. So that happened in 2001. Our very, very first workshop which was fucking 19 years ago already. Oh my God, di ba?
Pero
So
look at
19
the
years
products
ago,
he produced, di ba? Ang dami. And now there are
there are
so
quite a
many really
few.
good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that first batch alone, we got Boyet Season, we got Mark Zambrano, we got DJ Suzy out of
Mm-hmm.
that. I mean, that's three already from that batch. Na, and some other guys became pretty popular in their different fields. Yung mga iba naging DJ, yung mga iba naging producer.
Yep.
But from that alone, nakita na we might have stumbled on something good. And then fast forward to 2019, during your batch, you're actually the last batch that we had before. We were supposed to have a fourth batch until the pandemic
COVID
hit.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, until COVID happened, diba? We've graduated about 1,000 already of you, almost 1,000. Di naman siguro. Let me see. More than 600 of you already graduated from this, and about 100 of you are probably working in the industry already in some way or another. So we've opened doors, but I can't take credit for it because the guys who are in the industry actually took the process, worked very hard to get there, and now they're there.
Diba? Exactly. That's the point I want to drive in. It's like people want to do certain things, but they just, I mean, you could actually do it, pero for example, my processing was I wanted to be a medium of communication for people who didn't know what this industry is. Like combat sports in general, from boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, yan, MMA. There are so many things that there are so many stories that can be told or have to be told, pero wala eh. And the current crop of people that are doing it, it's either they have no idea what's going on. I mean, to be honest, they have no idea what's going on. They don't know what terms to use. I think it's the lack of connection between the medium and the source. So they couldn't convey the message. They couldn't tell the story. They couldn't convey the message. So for me, it was like, okay, if no one's gonna do it, I will. Parang ganun na lang yung naging storyline ko sa sarili ko nun. Kasi if
Good.
not,
Yeah, but that's good.
diba? Kasi if not, this is something that Filipinos can excel, pero walang nagsasabi ng kwento nila. So, and how I got into NBA, I do a lot of off tubing for combat sports events. So for example, the live feed, it was crappy analyst and ano work. So, and majority of them, by my standards, parang I couldn't keep up with the pace. I couldn't keep up with the I wanted to compress information na minsan umaabot akong bill, and then I wasn't really, diba? Parang, you have to compress that, and then so I was like, no, I wanted to do something like this because it's in the service of the industry or the community that I'm in, but I'm doing a bad job at it, super bad at this. And then one of the guys at TV5 said, eto, sabi may workshop na ganyan. Kung gusto mo lang, sabi kung gusto mo lang, kasi kung gusto mong, if we're gonna do this, if you keep doing this, eto, good training yan. Then I saw it, and then it was I actually enrolled, parang ano na eh, parang malapit na halos sa, hindi, maaga ako nag-enroll. Pero like my decision making was like, do I really know?
Buti umabot ka.
Oh, they go like, de, wala na, game na to, 3 araw lang naman. I'm telling you, so we're like the 3 grueling days of my life, pero it was one of the best 3 days of my life kasi I didn't know anything. I had to come in there with veteran. Diba, I didn't know that the people I was with some of them were veteran broadcasters already, and iba from different industries, and I go like, there was a moment there I go like, what the fuck am I doing here? Tapos nagtanong si,
what the fuck are you doing here? What happened after?
Tapos nagtanong ka, sino, para combat sports, ako lang yung nagtaas ng kamay. Parang ako, holy shit. It was a very fruitful experience.
I actually had an opportunity to do I actually had an opportunity to do a combat sports broadcast before for the URCC. We were in Pampanga, diba?
Yeah.
Then to be honest with you, I admire the people who are doing the MMA, but I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan really of MMA. I don't like go wake up at 4 in the morning and wait for the UFC event to happen. I mean, I'll
Ay, hindi
watch
naman.
it. I watch the
Ako rin.
highlights, pero
Ako rin, I will that way.
I'm not that, I don't even know all of the new fighters right now. Naalala ko lang, ko nila, Brock Lesnar na lang naabutan ko noon before. And then, and then we had to do a coverage. So I had to watch some film and I had to really request for an analyst. That you don't give me a boxing analyst. I want an MMA analyst. So who did you have in mind? I know this person. He was my student once. His name is Del Bacho.
Si Del,
If you can get
yeah.
Del Bacho to work with me, I will be very comfortable. So Solar Sports, which was doing the URCC at the time, reached out. They were able to get Del, and then we did a simultaneous broadcast with GMA7, which was Mark Zambrano and Mike Ochoa doing it. Sila yung magka-partner. And then since I had Del who knew so much about MMA, all I had to do was set him up. And everybody thought I was so good at doing that. Galing mo pala mag-MMA, ah? Yeah, I'm good. Because I just set this guy up. Diba? I mean, I let him work, but at the same time, of course, I did my homework pa rin. So that when it comes to baka na, I mean, I was still able to keep up with it. But again, it's very hard. The industry you're in, it's like the people who want to be MMA broadcasters, you need to do a lot more studying than us doing boxing. Ang dami talaga. I mean, it's not just the terms, it's how to get from one move to another seamlessly. Yung mga ganon. And then nasa ilalim, akala mo, nasa ilalim na, spin down na. Hindi. He actually wants to be in that position. Oh, really now?
Yeah.
Diba? Because that's what he wants. He wants the ground and pound. Nandun siya sa ilalim. Watch it. I'll count to 10. He's gonna flip his way out of there and he's gonna get this guy into a submission hold. Okay, I want to see it. And then it happened. Nakanganga ako. And then it happened, diba? I mean, you guys, you're an amazing group. I mean, MMA, much respect to you guys talaga. Ibang klase.
Diba? Kasi even in what do you call this? Even in boxing or kickboxing tournaments, when I listen to the commentary, masyadong generic. Masyadong generic and I go like, parang hindi rin nila alam kung ano yung pinagsasasabi nila. So I'm like, okay. So this in a way kind of pushed me to do that initiative. And then doing the NBA was one of the best 3 days of my life. Because it was hard, but it was very, very fulfilling in the sense that I acquired a skill set that polished what I already have.
Diba? You're gonna get there soon.
Diba? Don't worry about it. It put things into perspective, and it was a very humbling experience, a good ego check, and then it led to so many other things. It led me to becoming. I teach class every day. It made me a better teacher. I do seminars. Like it made me do seminars a better way or in a better format. Because now I know how to structure information in such a way wherein there is flow. Dati, I mean, admittedly, when I conduct class before, it's free flowing. I'll just talk again. Ngayon, nagkaroon siya ng structure. It became better. So now, kaya pag tinatanong ko, can you do a seminar of 100 people? Sabi ko, easiest thing in the world now. It's like, I'm telling you.
Your investment, actually, you're making your money back now
diba?
Because of the investment that you made on yourself.
Diba? Sabi ko, it's easy now. Easy. Now, going back to, now, we're talking about broadcasting. And broadcasting for people is a very complex process. There are so many factors, there are so many parts that are being put together. What I want you, sir, to tell the story is what happens behind the scenes. Like, because these are the things that people don't really know. They just see what's on the screen. They don't know that there's a floor director, there's a producer, there are people communicating. There's actually someone talking on the mic and there's someone talking in his ear. Parang, and in as much as you can share, diba, like a glimpse of what happens behind the scenes to provide audience what they see on the tube or on their phones or on the TV.
So ganito. Sometimes kasi I do the PBA. I'm one of the broadcasters of the PBA. I'm one of the radio broadcasters, one of the senior radio broadcasters sa PBA. So let's say that the first game, doubleheader, PBA, diba? First game is usually around 4:15, 4:30. So our call time is usually 2 hours before, minimum 2 hours before. So I try to get there around 2:30, just to be able to acclimatize. That's the first thing that we do. So you just don't walk into the venue, sit down, and then do the game. No. When you go into Araneta before game is hot.
Yeah.
Kasi nakapak-aircon. 3 o'clock. Diba? That's why when you arrive there at 2:30, we have a courtside reporter. Her name is Selena Dagdag. She arrives there at around 2:15 because the players sort of arrive at that time also. She has a little chair outside of the production room. Doon na siya nag-aabang kasi mainit dun sa loob. So kahit na paano, may presko pa rin papasok sa Araneta when you're in the outside part. Araneta is hot. So when you arrive there, you have to acclimatize muna. So you're acclimatizing to a hot place muna. So you're there already, naka-ikot-ikot ka na konti. Okay, now you're physically here. You're not physically there and then your soul is in EDSA. Kasi nangyayari ganon. When you're late, that's what happens.
Yes.
Nangyayari, I arrived there at 4 o'clock, the game's at 4:30. I mean, I'm there at 4:30 doing the game, but my soul is just in Araneta Avenue pa lang. Or in EDSA, papasok pa lang ng ano. That's why you have to acclimatize first. That's the first thing that happens to us. When we get there, sometimes naunahan namin yung mga game scripts namin. There are game scripts that are provided for all of the talents. The writers, the researchers, they do a fantastic job with that. So we get our game scripts and then we go through it. One thing that I do, I don't know if the others do it, but I'm sure they do also. One thing that I do is if I know the game is, it's going to be a Northport versus Phoenix game on first game, and it's going to be Ginebra versus San Miguel in the second game. I did my research the night before already. I just want to know what the flow is based on the script. So when we get the scripts, it arrives at mga 2:45, mga ganon, and yung mga game scripts namin. So I'm the radio guy, and then sabihin natin, Seb Sarmenta is working with Kinito Henson for the first game. They're doing the TV game, and then James Velasquez walks in, and then Tony De La Cruz is there. They're doing the PBA Rush game. So you have 3 sets of panels. I'm working with one panel. Kunyari, 3 sets of panels there. Inside the production room, there are mga courtside reporters, all the producers are there. When you go into the production room, the aircon is on, the scripts are out, the pens are out, it's a library. It's quiet in the production room. Minsan si Seb magpapatawa, iingay na konti, and then we go back to asking each other questions. Na, he shot, 4 of 13 the last game? Ito si Terence Romeo, are you sure? That's terrible. You know, how many minutes did he play? So we're asking each other now. That's part of our game notes already. We're constructing our game notes from that. From the game script. So, and then at around about 45 minutes before jump ball, we have something called the production meeting. Kanya-kanya na yan. You have the PBA Rush team doing their own production meeting. They're going to go through the sequence of the script and then say, sir, this is the number 1. We're going to talk about this matchup, and then we're going to talk about this. Here's the import matchup naman. Ganon. They're going to go through that. And then ganon din sa TV. Kami naman sa radyo will go out because we don't really do a production meeting because everything is already... We have very little time to talk because we're on radio. All right? It's a TV. You have a video medium. You can talk all you want while the game is going on. Kami, we don't have that luxury. So when they're going to do their production meeting, what I usually do is I go out and talk to the players. I'll talk to the coaches. I'll talk to the ball boys. I'll talk to the courtside reporters kasi mas maaga sila sa akin. Baka may nasagap sila na I didn't know. I'll include all that in my notes and then yung bala na lang yun. Yeah, bala na lang yun. And then, uupo na, national anthem, blah, 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 uupo na. You do your very short intro. We usually come in 2 minutes before jump ball sa radyo. TV comes in around 6 minutes, 7 minutes before jump ball. Kami 2 minutes before because we're gonna start na. Kasi dami commercials eh. PPA na, mag-start na. So lahat ng commercial load, ilalabas nila. And then we set it up for 2 minutes and then jump ball na. And then for me as a radio broadcaster, there is no such thing as dead air. I mean, I don't know if you heard one of my radio broadcasts already before. I do. But it's like...
Wala. Tuloy-tuloy.
You have to keep on talking. Yeah, because you have to describe everything kasi lahat ng audience mo bulag. Diba? They can't see. There are people in traffic. There are people who are physically bulag talaga who rely on the radio coverage to get their PBA entertainment. Diba? So I'm talking, sabihin natin na the average game is about 2 hours, including all of the commercials, and I'm doing 2 games. Because tawid yun that first and second game on radio. So on the average, I'm talking about 4 hours straight. And then after that, sabihin ng producer namin, here are the things that we sort of missed, here are the things that ganon. And then, okay, the next game na lang ulit. So it's basically a lot of preparation that goes into before the actual broadcast. It's the preparation that really gets the night before pa lang. Nakita mo na yung schedule. It's not that they're going to give you the schedule on the day itself. No, you know the schedule days ago already. Naupo at this time. So now you know that. You have to research the night before. And then when you get there, yung notes na lang is just for, getting the sequence. And then just getting acclimatized, getting to know each other, getting to know everybody, getting to talk to all of the players. And then here we go, game na.
Ako, I love the acclimation part. Yung you're physically in the venue but your mind is in EDSA. Kasi that happened to me twice. I referee MMA events. So I got stuck in traffic and then I got there, magsa-start na siya. So nagbibihis ako, nagmamadali ako. So I was like, I really connected with that. Na parang sabi ko, this was in Casino Filipino sa Rizal, sa Meloneta. Normally, same kami, same call time, 2 to 3 hours before dapat na kami. So I came from a meeting. So akala ko okay, darating ako dito siguro mga an hour before the event. Since I already have a routine, I know what to do, what to check, what to talk about. So sabi ko kaya ko to ng isang oras. Pero I still made sure na what do you call this? I'll be there earlier. Puta, biglang nagkaroon ng may nagbangga ang truck sa Rojas Boulevard. So I go like,
that's it.
Bigla ako, shit. So when I got to the venue, I was like, I was hurrying. As in, the last thing I did was change to my gear. Kasi the first thing I did was I had to look at the fighters, I had to check the gear, I had to brief the rules, I had to go with the technical committee, kausapin ko si Direk. I mean, I had to compress it bigla in like 30-45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like,
buti ka nga. I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced arriving game na.
That happened to me once.
Diba?
Once. That was the second one. So I was like, worst. Yes, that was the worst.
Di mo alam kung iikaw, tatay ka.
Oh, so I was like, oh man. I was like, damn. So I was like, dun yung parang, you do, those were the instances where you wanted to be on time, or when we say on time, you'd be like 2 hours before the event, pero wala. It's like there are certain things that are out of your control.
Right. Believe it or not, that's not an excuse.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's not an excuse. I mean, people have actually lost their jobs because of traffic in our industry. That's why we make it a point. Like me personally, the last time I was actually arriving at a PBA game nung round robin na, that was the latest already, nagra-round robin, nag-warm up na sila, round robin na. This was one of those Christmas games in MOA.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what MOA is like
Super
in Christmas?
traffic, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is like late December. Malapit na mag-Christmas. I left the house 3.5 hours before the call time. 3.5 hours before the call time. It took me almost 5 hours to get from Antipolo to MOA.
Damn.
It was that bad that day.
Super
Tapos pagdating ko doon, I didn't even know where to park. Sarado na lahat ng parking.
Yes.
Tawag na ng tawag yung producer ko. Asan ka na? Andito na yung mga teams. Yung ganon. So what I ended up doing is I just barreled down the VIP parking ng MOA, and I said, if I don't do this, I will lose my job. And then I got up there, nag-warm up na. The moment I put on my headset, nag-start na yung TV. Nag-start na yung TV. So I'm like, totally ganyan-ganyan. Humihingal-hingal pa ako. And then, yun pala, when I got there, my partner was also late. So I was working with Johnny Escobar, and Johnny Escobar couldn't park.
Yeah.
Diba? We had the same problem. So I had to start. Buti lang anchor man ako. I had to start, and he came in, nag-jump ball na. Doon na siya nakaupo.
Diba?
That was also, I think that was the same game that Yang Giao arrived in the second quarter.
Yeah.
I think that was the same day.
Parang may nabasa akong article na gano'n. May nabasa akong
Pampanga. Yeah, galing siyang Pampanga. That was terrible. But again, yun na nga, they say na, do you know that Quinito Henson got suspended because he was late for Antipolo? We had a game in Antipolo. Quinito Henson relied on Waze. Tapos bigla nagbago ang Waze. He didn't make it for the first game. Then he got suspended for it. This is Quinito Henson.
Yes.
Kenito Henson getting suspended from a PBA game. That's ridiculous. But you do have to set an example for everybody. It's not just because
Yes.
he's a senior that if he becomes late,
Yep.
you parang okay lang. No, he admitted it. No, I'm late. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Yes.
I relied on ways too much and never happened again because now Kenito's always like 2.5 hours ahead of the call.
Ahead. Yeah. Kahit nga nung nag-speaker siya nun sa seminar, he was early. He was already there, di ba?
Yeah.
Alas kasabay namin siya
Everybody
dumating.
now, yun nga, because tama sinabi ni Chuck Araneta during your workshop, if you arrive on time, you're late. That's why you arrive before the call time, and then you're going to be okay na. Because ano ba naman yung arrive 30 minutes before the call time? That's 30 minutes more of a climatization that you could have. Of course, sometimes wala kang magagawa. May meeting ako pinanggalingan sa Makati, kailangan ko pumunta ka na net. I'll probably just make it on time, probably later than on time. Like Dominic Huy is always late for the call time because he's always coming from a meeting. But the thing is that as long as you're prepared, at least that's your backup. Diba?
Yeah.
If you're prepared. Pero if you're there pa lang, doon ka pa lang bubuklat na notes, wala na tayo. Diba? You're late na nga, magbubuklat ka pa na notes dyan, baka hindi ka na ma-make-upan, patay na. Diba?
Oo.
That's it.
Diba?
Yeah.
So,
And that happened a lot of times. It happens to this day. Jack Sulit went to the wrong venue once.
oh!
We were in Cuneta. The game was in Cuneta. Jack Sulit went to Araneta.
Wow.
There's one time, Chuck Araneta naman we were in Araneta, he went to MOA.
Nagka-mix up
Sumakay
na.
siya ng MRT just to make it to Araneta. He actually made it like...
Di tumitingin sa schedule. Not informed. I wasn't informed. I didn't check the schedule.
No, he looked at the schedule pero namalikmatahan siya.
Kasi sunod-sunod.
Sunod-sunod kasi. I went to Araneta, Miss Universe ang binibining Pilipinas. Nasa Araneta, binibining Pilipinas. I'm supposed to do a PBA. PBA sa Cuneta. Oh my gosh, di ba? I had to run all the way to Cuneta. Buti may MRT na. Di ba? Time na yun.
Diba?
But yun nga, you could get fired for it. So yun nga, you have to be responsible, know where you're supposed to be. But sometimes you can't avoid it. Pinagtatawanan na lang namin now, but you could lose your job because of that.
That is so true. Kasi everything that we're doing here is all about storytelling. At least that's how I see it. That's like the main concept behind everything that I learned from you guys. It's the art of storytelling and being able to convey the message to people who don't understand what's happening. That's how I approach things now. There are a lot of people that don't know what I'm doing. There are a lot of people that don't know what's happening in the world that I live in. So at least I have to make it about them. And in terms of storytelling, like how important is it in terms of conveying a certain message? Like for example, what is the thought process? What is the creative process behind your style of storytelling?
Well, the storytelling part is you set it up from the pre-game. That's why it's very important. But before, I'm doing basketball, gawin na natin boxing. I set it up from like the history of the fight. I mean, how much of these guys like each other? Do they know each other very well, diba? If so, how many times did they go up against each other before? Tapos anong record dito isa? So gagawa na ng storya, natalo sila nung last meeting, so may revenge. Diba? So parang teleserye, diba? Natalo sila nung first meeting. This is like the revenge match. This guy wants revenge from the last loss. Ito naman, he's the reigning champion, does not want to relinquish the crown. So yan, may conflict na. So you have to, there has to be some kind of a conflict para magkaroon ng konting storya. And in between, now we talk about what they're fighting for. Yun naman, I think it was in your workshop where Seb shared a video about Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao, yung laban nila.
Yeah.
I mean, pinakita yung what they're fighting for. Yung tipong, I forget the line. It was a really great line na sinabi doon in that script that was written by HBO. Is that they are fighting for people they're fighting for people that you do not see, something like that. Pinakita si Manny Pacquiao with the poor. Everything pinakita si Juan Manuel Marquez with his people in Mexico. That's who they're fighting for. Pero nakikita lang natin dalawang boksingero, but they're really fighting for something way bigger than just the title. They're fighting for like families, like Pacquiao when he makes his pay, he'll give it to the poor of General Santos at the time.
Yes, that's true.
Galing. I mean, that's where we put all the stories in, and that's why I like to keep telling the audience, educate and entertain. The education part is about the fighters itself, what they're fighting for.
Mm-hmm. Diba? And ano siya with the proliferation of information, there are so many sources, there are so many
Excuse me.
there
Yeah.
are so many there are so many people out there like putting information, diba? And what
Yung tanong dyan,
I'm
which is true. Ano ba yung totoong information?
yes, exactly, diba? Diba? Parang
Uh,
like how do you filter it out? How can your story stand out from everyone else's? Diba? And yun yung ano parang that's probably like establishing credibility or having some sort of integrity. Pero yun nga parang it's the narrative and what angle is better? Like do you attack the event itself or ang tawag dito the people or the participants? Kasi anong
well,
mas priority
yeah.
when it comes to that one?
Well, the event itself, you can get that out of the way kaagad sa simula. You can actually say that this is the event. And if there's a beneficiary, you can actually say what the beneficiary is. But the people really want to see is the story. Kunyari, boxing nga, yung laban. Sabihin natin, we're doing a Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley 3 na laban. They
Mhm.
want to know how it ends because Bradley won the first, Pacquiao won the second. I mean, how does this trilogy end? Ang gusto naman makita ng tao yung where is it going to go? But at the same time, your job now as a broadcaster is to fill in what happened before. How did it lead to this moment where it's now a mega fight between these two people who, like 8 years ago, didn't really know each other. But now, eto na, they built this kind of a legacy already na umabot na, sorry, that was 2016 was their last fight. So, Pacquiao Bradley 3 na, yung 4 years later, what's happened already there. So yung build up to that moment before they enter the ring. And of course, the event is also very important. Pero it's more of sa akin, what is the story? What is the saga? Yun yung word na hinarap ko kanina. What is the saga? And how is the saga going to end today?
Diba? So at least these are the things that people will have a better understanding of when the next time they read an article. Diba? The next time they read a sports article, the next time they read something online, or next time you guys post a status, at least they will dive. It's gonna give them a deeper dive into how it was developed, and it will give them hopefully a better appreciation of what's happening. Kasi I mean, sporting. I grew up in the sports industry. I've done so many sports, and it makes me. I have a very high appreciation of sports in general because its ability to narrate a story, its ability to express human emotions in movement through movement, and its ability to bring people together. So that's why I really love what happened in the MDA, in the Newbies Broadcasting Academy. Now, that was the broadcasting side of Noel Zarate. Ito yung medyo natuwa ako na surprise. Parang the event barker side is like you do that as well pala. Parang sabi ko puta siya pala yung sumisigaw ng 3 points. Di ba siya pala yung nag-i-introduce ng mga players.
Wow.
Diba? It's like,
actually,
and this
that's
is
fun.
diba? This is something that and this is another field that I saw that only a few people can do. I was like, fuck, that shit's hard. Yeah, that shit's hard. And doon ko rin na yan, galing sa inyo yan, yung hashtag boys bosses.
Yeah.
Kasi
It's actually a hashtag that I've been using for a long time. I really, I was already a sportscaster when I met Vincent Price already. I actually met Vincent Price, yung original barker ng PBA, when he was still a DJ. I was a kid when I met him, And then when I found out that he was doing that, sabi ko, I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to be the voice behind that. For the longest time. Sa PBA kasi nung araw, parang Paul, Jaworski, ganun lang yung lumalabas, di ba? Then you watch the NBA, it's very, very narrative the way they do it. So I've always wanted to do that. And I was fortunate enough that in 2003, well, not really fortunate because it took the death of my friend for me to enter the PBA. There's a barker in the PBA by the name of Chuck Basilio. Okay. He passed away, I think, in 2002. He passed away, and then nung nagkaroon na ng shortage, because they had a rotation, nagkaroon na ng shortage doon because I believe Vince had to leave for the States, and then si JB Faner, Joe Schmo, also had to leave for Canada. So that left only me and Rolly Manlapas to do that. So sinabi nila, okay, let's train these guys na lang. Kunin natin si Noel. So this is 2003. kinuha ko ni Robbie Puno. I was doing radio already at the time. And then, you really want to do it? Okay, let's train you, and then let's do it. So I stuck to that, and it's exhilarating. Grabe, sarap na pakiramdam.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Diba? Kasi parang, I was like, wow. Parang, kasi I've only tried doing that once. Kasi, ano naman to?
Nag-ring announcer ka na ba? Nag-ring announcer ka na?
Hindi siya ring announcer eh. Parang, there was one time, late yung guy that will introduce the fighters.
Yeah.
Eh ako, I know all their names. So they go like, eto bro, basahin mo na lang. Sabi ko, hindi ako akit dyan ha, kasi nahiya ako eh. Sabi ko, basahin ko na lang. Sabi ko, entering, ganyan. Sabi ko,
yeah.
I improvised along the way. I just read the script. That's when and then coming into the seminar, that was like when you guys narrated the whole barking thing. I was like, okay, there's a science to this. That there's a structure. There's a proper way of saying this, and that's when nagkaroon ng import. I think like the only reason why pumayag si Direk nun na ako na lang, like this was like super long time ago, was because I know how to pronounce their names. And then the moment you said, it's so important for athletes to get their names right. Because that is what people remember them by. So
exactly, and that's all they brought with them also.
Yep. Diba? So looking back, I was like, okay, that was probably one of the reasons why late si announcer, late si Barker, they go like, introduce na lang, paparating na siya, introduce mo lang yung mga pangalan, alam mo naman pala yung pronunciation, you know how to pronounce all their names. Sabi ko, even the foreign fighters that were there, because I know them personally, you could pronounce their names. Sabi ko, okay, might as well. I just thought it was just talking on the mic. I didn't realize that you had to vibe with the music. You had to vibe with the crowd. You had to vibe with the
you
the
feel
atmosphere.
it naman. You feel the crowd when you start talking. You feel the crowd when they play music, and then you're about to talk. You feel already where it's gonna go. Sometimes nga, like I did some barking jobs for the ASEAN Basketball League. But before I actually became a broadcaster, I was already a broadcaster in the ABL. But in 2016-2017 season, sinabi na, can you fly? And because Hong Kong needs a barker. Sabi ko, sige, I'll give it a shot, diba? So I'm not used to home and away barking. Okay, it's like one big event. We're doing a FIBA Asia Championship in one venue. Then I'm going to just, everybody's happy. Pag nakashoot si host ng Qatar. I was there in 2010, host ng Qatar. Pag nakashoot ng Qatar, masaya ako. Nakashoot ng Lebanon, masaya din ako.
Yeah.
Diba? Wala akong kinakampihan. But in the ABL, it's baliktad because it's home and away. It's not baliktad, it's different. Home and away yung ano nila. So I got to Hong Kong. I'm thinking, all right, look, my first thing, ito yung prejudice, diba? When I got to Hong Kong, how big is basketball in this country? Diba? How big is basketball? It can't be that big, diba? Yeah. So I walk into the Southern Stadium, first game of the season ng Hong Kong, and they had a light show. The place was sold out, diba? And then they're going up against the Kaohsiung Truth, which is on paper the weakest team in the league, diba? So, and then in Hong Kong Eastern, you see these guys. Oh, these guys are all national team. In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, they have no national team players. So I knew it was going to be tambakan. But still, when the lights go on and then the audience screams, kasi yung thing is there, you introduce the visiting team as parang nasa lamay. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet the members of the Kaohsiung Truth. Number 4, Franco
Diba?
Muna. And then you introduce the coach, and then you go to Hong Kong. The music is
it's
on.
The home crowd. It's the home crowd now. Oh.
I'm telling you, I lost my voice opening pa lang. I lost my voice.
Kasi I had that, and then I attended. Then after attending, I had a better understanding of what's happening. And then afterwards, it gave me more structure, more confidence. So I did what do you call this? Ring announcing and press cons for sporting events. Yan, boxing. Because I did Woolen Fong. Woolen Fong is a kickboxing event. We did it in Okada. I handled the press con for that one. So in terms of introducing, hyping, medyo sabi ko, yes, I had better training. I could do this better now.
Di mag-ring announcer ka na, you just need to get a license, apply for a ring announcer. There are very, very few MMA ring announcers. They usually get us to do MMA fights. You have Anthony Suntay, Boyet Season, myself. We do MMA fights
Boyet's
also.
really good. I have worked with Boyet
is
so many
fantastic.
times.
Yeah,
Like,
Boyet's,
grabe siya.
yeah, I mean,
Grabe.
not bad for an 80-year-old, di ba?
Like,
Not bad for an 80-year-old. Pero si Boyet brings in so much energy. You know, my favorite one is Monjal Sita. Have you ever worked with Ramon Jalsita before?
Yeah.
Oh my
Monjal
gosh,
Sita.
that guy is fantastic.
Yep.
Diba? I mean,
Long
he's a
hair
rock
din
star.
yan.
Yeah, long hair.
Rockstar
He's a rock star. He's really, he's really a musician.
Yes,
Rock
yes.
star. But when he does it, it's like he's coming out of hell to do it. And he's not even
I've
doing
worked
it in a
with
loud voice.
Yep, I've worked with Boyet and Ramon so many times. We did so
Mon
many events.
Monjal Sita is fantastic because he doesn't need a strong voice. His presence alone, and then he parang hypes up the fighters.
May presence siya.
Looking like the rock star that he is. And it's a rock event, bigla, diba? That's fantastic, diba? When you gotta try it. You gotta. I'm sorry. You gotta try being a ring announcer. Sorry.
Sige, I will. Mag-ano nga ako. Mag-apply ako kay Gab. Mag-apply ako kay Gab.
Alright, there.
Sorry. Ano ba yan? You also get that from Gab, no?
Yeah. Just get the license. You know, they're always. Ano man eh, the only reason that you mako mo lisensya mo if your organization backs you up. Kunyari, you're doing an MMA fight and then the organization says, we want him to be a ring announcer. So they'll actually send a letter to the Games and Amusements Board and say, we're endorsing Franco Rulloda to be our ring announcer, blah, blah, blah. You just go there, you pay the fee, take the test, and then that's it.
That's it.
Get your license like an hour later.
Oh,
yeah, an hour later.
Kasi ako, lisensya ko sa Gab, laging judge tsaka referee. So, iba naman.
And fighter, of course. Fighter ka rin, di ba?
Hindi, wala na. Mag-ano na ako, nagko-coach na lang ako. Turo na, ayoko na masuntok.
You have to go to Makati pa rin, di ba?
Oo, di ba?
You have to go to Makati and go through that process.
Yes! Di ba? And yun din, kasi ako, these are especially when covering sporting events, and then I go like, for example, in boxing, we have so many good boxers. We have so many good, talented boxers, pero nobody really knows them. Nobody really knows their story. So might as well, sabi ko, that's why it was one of the reasons why I took it upon myself to go to that process, is because of that, okay, because I've learned boxing since I was a kid. That's the first thing I learned. It's the first martial arts I learned. I learned boxing ng mga 7 years old. Kasabay siya ng pag-aaral ko ng basketball. So it was like, the two B's in my life, boxing and basketball. So, like, there are so many good boxers. The boxing industry is alive naman, diba? It's not as rich unless you're a Pacquiao, pero it has a great pool of talent. We just need better ways of promoting it. So parang even if I try to watch yung mga coverage sa TV ng mga boxing events, parang I'm sorry for whoever is gonna pero you guys don't know what you're talking about. You're doing your best. I mean, they're trying their best to hype the fight. Pero minsan kasi jab pa lang. Oh my God, ang galing nun jab. Ang galing. Parang parang it's trying too hard.
Sa basketball, nakashoot ka ng free throw.
Oo, di ba? And I had a better appreciation of that because I attended your classes. Di ba? Parang it's not, and then I do my best to watch the really good commentators, the really good analysts, the really good, and I mean, this is such a very unique experience. Like when we were preparing for the coverage of the SEA Games, parang feeling ko, all-star lineup tong mga tao dito. Anong ginagawa? Nandun na naman, biglang tinabi mo kay Alexis. Sabi ko, tanong ng boses ito, ang galing. And then Stephen was really good. And then Jay. Then sila Jay.
That's a fantastic group, What we're doing right now, you graduated from the workshop and you were one of the people that we chose. And it's a good thing you have this podcast also, so we can let everybody know. When you graduate from our workshop, and then there's another one that comes in, you can take it for absolutely free and take it again. But also, what happens now is that people like you, the names you mentioned, Steven Silva, Alexis Torres, all of these people, we choose them already because not everybody who attends the workshop is going to make it. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, in the very first workshop that we had in 2001, Bill Velasco, was our first speaker. He looked at the room. There were 39 people. At sabi ni Bill to the entire room, I'd be very surprised if more than 3 of you make it in this industry.
Wow.
More than 3 of you make it in this industry. So it's like, oh my gosh, what kind of an opening line is that? We want everybody to become broadcasters. But true enough, I'm named only 3 names from that batch. I mean, 3 names that have become mainstream. Boyet Season, Mark Zambrano, Tin Gamboa, is DJ Susie. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at that roster, he's right. 3 of them actually made it. The others made it indirectly, some small role, but these are the 3 mainstream that we have, diba? So what we're doing right now is we're cutting the corners already. So yourself included, and a bunch of you, about 40 of you, from all of the batches we've ever had, we have this program now called Newbies Next. All right, now Newbies Next, piling-pili na kayo. Now I'm going to talk my language to you. Not only me, everybody else. Whoever mentor I'm gonna get. If Seb shows up, good. If Kinito shows up, good. But for now, kayo yung mga napili. Kumbaga, you guys, Newbies Next, kayo na yung next in line. Kayo na yung papalit sa amin. That's why when we chose you, we made sure that who are the people who can take our place in the industry, who can actually uplift the industry. And quite frankly, my friend, you're one of them. In that group.
Tuwa naman ako doon.
That's why you were chosen for that SEA Games, that SEA Games training.
Oh,
diba?
And if I didn't grow up in the environment that I grew up in, I would probably crumble. Kasi sabi ko, grabe itong mga. Pero siguro kasi I was very competitive siguro, and I was very curious about things that I do not know.
Yeah,
so
and I made sure that you were pushed out of your comfort zone. So
yes.
Magkakaroon tayo ng courage dito. O wag mo ibibigay courage kay Franco. Ano ibibigay kay Franco? Bowling.
Oh my God. Pero di ba when you gave me bowling, it made me appreciate bowling more, because now I know what RPMs are, the different oil lanes, the different grips.
Yes.
Apparently there are balls that have 2 holes instead of 3.
Exactly. Yung iba walang hole. But no, the reason why I did that is because siksika na tayo sa basketball.
Yes.
All right? Even in boxing, you want to get into boxing, you'll probably make it because you have a resume. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to, get over guys like Kinito, like Michael Chosa. These are the guys already. Ed Tolentino, Danrick Stapnasan. These are the guys who are already up there already. Pipila ka na sa kanila. So what I did with the Newbies Next SEA Games training was to make sure that you guys actually learned different sports. So just in case, like what happened in 2019, diba? We all got stuck. That story in 2019. Philippines is hosting the SEA Games for the first time in 14 years.
Yep.
Diba? But we are not present at the venue.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous, diba? I mean, we're hosting the event. We should be there. Yeah, we're going to do Densu style. We're going to do it all off tube. Yep. Diba? Which is a great idea right now. Kaya na to the Olympics, we can actually off tube all of that. We don't have to go there. So what happened to us, the group that was sent to Novaliches, myself, Seb Sarmenta, Chuck Araneta, Mark Zambrano, we were all sent to Novaliches. We're the Novaliches group. We were thrown all the sports, as in all. The first question tinanong sa akin when I got there, Sir, mayroon kayo ng sepak takraw? It's like, I've covered it before. Okay, akit na kayo doon, naka-standby na yung sepak takraw. So I do the thing with sepak takraw. Sir, wushu sa baba, kaya? Sige. Then I go down, I do the wushu. And then, di ba, pag ganun kami, I mean, then I see Chuck at the elevator. What are you gonna do? Swimming daw ako ngayon. Di na ako na swim. We just see each other. We're covering all of these sports that we're not really good at. But since we prepared for it, we knew that these are the medal events, and then we prepared for it. We have basic knowledge of it, Then sometimes you get your yung sport na malakas ka. Like sa akin, napunta yung billiards. Malakas ako dun sa billiards, di ba? But then after the billiards, sir, tapos na kayo sa billiards. Sir, diving kayo, women's platform. I don't even know what platform diving is, but I'll figure it out, di ba?
Yeah.
And then, that's why we trained you all to learn these different sports out of curiosity at first. But since you are all equipped already, kaya nga nasa Newbies Next na kayo, you're all equipped already to become broadcasters, you take to it. Diba? You probably struggle for like 5 minutes and then pick it up. Easily, diba? And then
no choice.
Job, which is what you did. Yeah. You covered bowling, for God's sake. What do you know about bowling?
Diba? Parang like, oh, I was like, I go home, I was talking
Yeah,
to Riz, I'm like, I just covered bowling today. Tapos sabi niya, what? Hindi ka naman nagbo-bowling. Sabi ko, now I
exactly.
do. Sabi ko, now I do. Sabi ko, Diyos ko. Pero it was, siguro, and a lot of the training that I had growing up was like, yun eh, it's like overcoming adversity, getting out of your comfort zone. Basically, it's getting out of your comfort zone. Now, uh, compressing everything together, like ako, I have difficulty doing it, but you guys, syempre, you've done it through the years, compressing, like for example, yeah, yung SEA game stories na lang, you were transferring from one sport to another. How are you able to compress a lot of information in the time slot that you're given? Like, what is the
Okay.
mental process behind that?
It's like wearing different hats. I
Mhm.
mean, when you wear a certain hat, you feel a certain way, meron a certain vibe when you wear that hat, di
Yeah.
ba? Kunyari, you're wearing a red hat, I'm gonna be gati pakiramdam ko na wear a red hat. When you wear a black hat, you're a little bit on the gloom side, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do, kunyari, I'm moving from billiards, which is a quiet sport, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have to do athletics right
Yes.
after that. And we're talking about sprints, not just
Yeah.
not the yung paikot-ikot sila. You're talking about sprints. We're doing the 100 and the 200 men's and women's. We're doing the 100 hurdles. But then I came from billiards, diba?
Yeah.
So my mindset in billiards is cuento. This is
Mm-hmm.
cuento. Okay, the preparation to the shot is that yung mga ganon. So it's quiet. And then when you get up there, all right, welcome now to the new Clark Stadium. We are about to have and then you shift because you see it. You're wearing now a different hat. Okay, I've gone from green table
Mm-hmm.
to brown to green field now, and now I'm gonna do that already right now. So it changes already. So you also know there's a switch that flicks on. I don't know if you experience this. I keep on talking about the switch
Mm-hmm.
that flicks on. I mean,
Yep.
ikaw, when you fight and then the bell rings and you're there already, you're a different person now.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes,
Diba?
you
Because
have to.
sa totoong buhay, you're a really nice guy, but when the bell rings, you're not
There's
a
a
nice guy
switch.
anymore. You
Yeah.
have a mission.
Yep.
You have a mission. You
Yeah.
switch. There's a switch. Same thing in broadcasting. Like, that when I sit there, I see a billiard table, I'm switching now to quiet, informative. Then when I sit there, I see a big field with an oval, and then there's this wide shot, and then there's the competitors. Now I'm switching to track and field, and I have to pump it up a bit, especially the sprints. These are like,
Mm.
it's done in 10 seconds, it's done in 15 seconds type. So I have to give the audience the best of that time frame. So there's a shift that happens, switch that gets flipped on. I don't know if I explained it correctly, but when that switch is flipped
Oh yeah.
on, yeah, then things change already.
Diba? At least so that whoever's gonna watch this and listen to it, so that they have a better idea of what goes on through the people who are talking. Diba? So for every sport, there has to be a certain medium, or there has to be a certain mood pala. Diba? For every
Yeah,
sport,
yeah.
there's a mood. Diba?
Yeah,
There's
you can't
sporting.
do track and field when you're doing billiards. Oh, what a shot
Ah!
there! That's an incredible bank shot on the line. I mean,
Diba?
Bob Guerrero gets away
Diba?
with it.
Exactly. Diba? Because my friends, when they go like, bakit kaya yung mga nagko-commentate dyan sa golf, di ba? Para namang,
Binato kayo ng golfer pag maingay kayo.
di ba? Para sabi,
Diba?
hindi bro. Yun din yung, now I get to explain that more. Sabi ko, hindi bro, kasi when you cover golf, you have to be quiet, and at the same time,
Yeah.
you can't really hype up a very quiet environment, di ba? People will see na tahimik lahat ng tao sa field, tas ikaw yung commentator na parang, di ba? It's not, it has to.
Right. Believe it or not,
not.
that also happens in basketball. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, that also happens in basketball. We're doing an ABL game in Macau. Walang masyadong nanonood na tao. Tapos nagkataon, yung commentary panel na position namin was right beside the opposing bench.
Mm-hmm.
It was right beside the visiting bench, visiting team, bench ng visiting team. So, ingay namin. Siyempre, naka-headset kami. Hindi namin alam. I mean, we still hear some fans that medyo naka-microphone lahat. But I think we didn't know how loud we were na hindi sila makahadel. Because we were talking.
You were talking.
Believe it or not, that happens in basketball also. Diba? It's like so quiet pala inside the gym. Before the COVID-19 thing suspended all of the games sa ABL, I was actually fortunate. I don't know if it's fortunate, but I was actually the one who did the only 2 closed-door games in ABL history. We had a game in Macau.
Oh yeah, they're doing that now.
We had a game in Macau, closed door. Then 2 days later, we had a game in Hong Kong, closed door. As in, yung mga tao sa Macau, tataka ako tumitingin sa amin. Si Sidel, tahimik naman. Ako,
Mm.
kasalita lang ako, normal. Yung pala, we're so loud because the gym was so quiet. So that's also what happens there. So tumitingin sila sa akin, kanyari may gaganon ako. Tingin ng lahat ng tao ba? Ano yung batang
Di ba?
ingay ng dalawa?
Di ba? Parang,
Yeah, but that happens.
di ba? So at least now, di ba? Yung flow na, there's an actual flow to everything. Di ba? There's an actual flow to everything. And ako talaga, like, after realizing that I could do all these things pala, now I have more confidence na parang, oh, can you answer this question? Or now, yan, pagka, when I host the event that I do every year, I'm more confident. I could speak more. I mean, I didn't realize that I could do it better pala, and now I'm actually doing it. So, yun din, like, after Woolen Fong, people said, galing mo pala mag-host. Sabi niya, galing mo pala mag-host. Sabi ko, hindi, inaral
It
ko to.
opens doors, actually. It
Sabi
really
ko,
does. I
inaral
mean,
ko
when you
to.
start doing that, it opens doors.
Sabi niya, hindi namin alam, nag-host ka pala. Sabi ko, hindi, first time ko to. Sabi ko, second time ko to. Ano lang, tawag dito, inaral ko to. So it was good. And then, ang ano naman dyan, ngayon, every time na may kailangan ng breakdown, sabihin niya, oh, ulit, parang ako, breakdown mo ngayon nangyari kanina.
Pero gusto mo naman yan, di ba? That's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah,
That's
I want
exactly
to do
what
it
you
then
wanna
kasi
have.
if not, people will
Exactly.
fuck it up. Yun lang yun. Ako
And
lang.
exactly. And then God gives you, God introduces stuff to your universe that it's there. But that's one of the things that we talked about in the workshop is actually everything that you know right now, and I say this in the workshop, everything you know, you already learned when you were like 6 years old. Your broadcasting skills, your hosting skills, all when you were 6 years old. So when you guys enter the workshop, first thing we tell you is we're actually here to educate you. Of course, that's what you paid for, diba?
Yeah.
You want to get educated with about nangyayari sa ating industriya, how to become a sportscaster. But I'm just saying the etymology of the word educate is actually from the Latin word educere, which means to draw out. So you're being there. We're gonna draw out stuff from you guys that you already had. So you're actually paying us for
draw
us that you already learned. Diba?
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah. Medyo saktong-sakto 'yan, Nadali ako doon. Doon ako nadali. 'Di ba? Pero now, for everything that we have discussed and all the stories that we shared, now this is one of my personal questions to someone like you, like for someone like you who's been in the industry for a long time
27 years,
already.
26 years.
Yeah. Now you've covered so many sporting events. Now, how can we, or what do you think? What's your opinion in terms of covering or providing the necessary spotlight on other sports? I'm not dissing out on basketball. We're a basketball loving country. I love basketball. I grew up in basketball. I was in the training team of my school in basketball. Diba? I'm a basketball addict. As in, I've been to so many places because of basketball. Pero being, like, practicing other sports, that's why I was so happy when volleyball is getting its due. Kasi may mga kaibigan akong volleyball players. Now they have careers. Now the spotlight is on them, and then kayo, it's being covered, and there's a fan base.
We were there at the right time, actually. As broadcasters, we were there at the right time.
And may fan base. Yun. That's the most important part. May fan base. So it kind of gave me hope na, okay, if volleyball and football can do it, then probably the other sports or other sporting events can as well. Kasi it's a two-way street. There has to be an exceptional athlete, or there have to be exceptional athletes with incredible stories, and at the same time, people who are willing to cover them. So at least from someone who's been in the broadcasting industry for a long time, what are the things that we could do to help provide or give light to the stories of other athletes? Kasi there's wrestling, there's judo, there's yung mga arnis clubs. 'Di ba? Ang dami nilang medals ang dami nilang medals ng SEA Games. And then yan,
Mhm.
sepak takraw, skate yung that skateboard, yung sa skateboarding event.
Marginidad,
O
yeah.
yun, di ba? I mean, I'm happy that they're getting their due, pero are we gonna wait for another SEA Games or Asian Games before their stories are told? I don't know what is possible in terms of providing an avenue to give them, like, kaya hindi naman siguro everyday, OA naman yung everyday exposure, pero yung at least good features lang every month. Like, guys, diba, mga Pilipino, mga kababayan Pilipino, hindi lang tayo sa basketball at volleyball at football magaling. Diba? We're good swimmers, bowlers, shooters, tsaka track and field athletes. Ang dami nating magagaling doon. When I travel to different areas, like for example, I do jiu-jitsu seminars or I visit, kasi ako, travel writer din ako. When I go to different places, nakikita ko, like for example, Bacolod, ang daming football players na magagaling doon. Diba? So how can media or the broadcasting industry help in getting the word out there?
Well, it's actually easier now because of the digital age of social media. Kailangan lang talaga, you guys have to be resilient. I mean, I may not be a fan of the sport of MMA, but I respect all of you guys, and I think that you're one of the best athletes in the world.
Yep.
So, you just keep on being busy with social media. Your face of MMA is still very much there. Alvin Aguilar, for me, is the face of MMA in the country. He's put MMA on the map, the Philippine MMA scene on the map as far as I'm concerned. Diba? I mean, if you can rally behind him, Alvin, let's do something and just make it really loud. And then eventually you're going to get there. You mentioned volleyball kanina. I mean, I started becoming a volleyball broadcaster in 2007. Okay? This was way before the boom.
Yep.
Okay, the boom happened in 2012.
Parang Shakey's V-League pa lang ata.
Yeah, we were doing the Shakey's V-League for a group. We're doing like, we're doing a Letran versus Lyceum game in front of 30 people.
Diba?
And when we were starting out, diba? And that's full TV coverage and everything like that. What the group of Sports Vision did, and you have to respect these guys talaga, is they really stuck with it. We're going to perform. We're going to have games in front of 30 people or 3,000 people. It doesn't matter. We're still going to continue doing this. This was a vision, actually, of, believe it or not, a former PBA commissioner by the name of Jun Bernardino. This was his vision to put volleyball on TV. Diba? I mean, his vision was to fill up San Juan Arena, Philol Flying V Center, to fill it up without the presence of basketball hoops. I mean, can you do that if it's not sabong? How can you do that if it's not sabong or basketball, diba? So one day we had a championship game, I think it was in 2008, we had a championship game, the place was sold out. And then we were all looking up, saying, Komish, you did it, diba? So you just had to be patient. But that was just us. Shakey's V-League lang yun. The thing really exploded in 2012 when ABS-CBN happened to be broadcasting an Ateneo Lasal first round matchup, so women's UAAP. And then that was, I think up to now, was the 5th highest attendance in the history of MOA Arena. First round regular season matchup. The elimination between Ateneo and LaSalle won it in straight sets. Ganun tipo. But it was like 18,000 something to watch that. That's when we knew it had exploded already. So to answer your question, you just have to keep on doing what Sports Vision did. We don't care if people are watching. We're going to keep broadcasting. We're going to keep broadcasting. One day, somebody's going to say, hey, what is this that's going on there? And now look, PSL, PVL now, which used to be the Shakey's V-League, PVL, they still have packed houses. UAAP finals sometimes has more people watching than a basketball game.
Yep.
But because nga, chinaga yun. And then one day, I think I told this in the workshop, I don't know if it was your batch or the batch before, about the 100th monkey. You ever hear that story?
No.
About the 100th monkey? Okay, I didn't. So it wasn't in your batch. There was an experiment done long time ago. This quick story lang ito. Experiment done a long time ago.
We have time. Don't worry.
There are two islands somewhere in the Pacific. Puno ng monkeys. That's the only inhabitants there are monkeys, and then scientists were studying the monkeys, diba? So what they did, they provided the place with food, diba? So they were studying the monkeys, and sometime later there was one monkey na ipagkain nila doon kamote. Okay, nakakuha ng hukay na kamote, and then one day, this one monkey had the idea of taking kamote and bringing it to the stream and washing it. Kasi ginagawa nila, pag bunot na ng kamote, kakainin nila.
Kakainin.
Right? So this one monkey had the idea of washing it. So the scientists were watching, hey, there's somebody who's doing it differently now. So we wash it and then eat it. And then naramdaman, mas masarap pala na walang dumi. Diba? So then this monkey would religiously do it by himself. Do it by himself. And then one day, he brings a friend. And then they wash it together, and then they eat it together. Pretty soon, after a span of a few weeks, the whole island was going to the stream and washing their kamote before they ate it. And scientists said, wow, that's fantastic, you know, it just took them a few weeks to figure it out. Eto pa yun. So when they found out that this island did it, they were surprised that the other island started doing it. That was the 100th monkey. The guy who started washing his kamote for the first time influenced this, and because of this, transmuted this idea to the other island, which there had no history of doing that before that. But since this 100th monkey, which could be you could be the 100th monkey doing this podcast, this might actually trigger an influx now of people understanding what MMA is. That's why we keep on doing the workshops also. We're looking for the 100th monkey among all of you. Who is going to transform this broadcasting industry now? It might be you. You might be the key to the whole explosion of MMA in the Philippines in the next 5 years. It might have started with you. Malay ba natin? So that 100th monkey started a revolution that really changed everything. In volleyball, it was one game that made it explode. In 2012, it exploded. But before that, there was a process. And then when that process hit the apex, as we hear now in our pandemic talk, it hits the apex, and then it explodes. Malay ba natin, in your case, you're doing this, somebody will say something in this podcast, and it's going to trigger some kind of response, and then all of a sudden people get interested. This podcast gets big, and then MMA gets big. We don't know. That might be your role. That might be your job. That might be your destiny.
Hopefully, Sir Noel.
That's why you keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing.
I'm just doing this to like send out that message na okay, this is something we can excel at, 'di ba? Boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, combat sports na lang. Sige, I don't wanna kasi multi-discipline din yung mga nilabanan ko. I fought in almost all combat sports na medium. So or events. So at least yun, nakita ko, doon ko rin, that's why I could validate na parang we have really good boxers, we have really good kickboxers, we have really good jiu-jitsu fighters, we have really good wrestlers, we have really good
there was one time I think it was 2015, 2014. The sports writer friends are gonna correct me on this. The Philippines won like 58 gold medals in ice skating in one event.
Oh, di ba? Yung pa, ice skating.
In one event. Di ba? And who knew about this? Tayo kabilang sa sports industry. But not the mainstream, di ba? I mean,
exactly.
That's not, Michael Martinez was a different case because he was marketed. So yun, if you get to be marketed at a certain level, it will help speed things up. Diba? Like ice skating became popular because Michael Martinez was marketed. Diba? Volleyball sped up because Eliza Valdez was marketed.
Yes.
Diba? So everything, you just need that one marketing. The Young Husband brothers were marketed.
And then
increase the football kaagad. Same thing with the Asuncions before. The Kenny Vic and Kenny Asuncion, the badminton brother sister. Sumali sila Thomas and Uber, then they won the bronze medal in the SEA Games. They were marketed. Badminton became big in the Philippines. You know, so yung tipong ganun, you need that one guy lang. I thought it was Brandon Vera. For the longest time, I thought Brandon Vera would be the transcending figure dito. And then I thought it was Mark Munoz. Obviously, may kulang pa. I mean, there has to be another guy coming up. I don't know, maybe among the teenagers now, there could be somebody who might be a UFC fighter.
Diba? Kasi kailangan, I also believe that na parang, now that you brought up that angle, I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense. Kasi there has to be a figure talaga. Diba? There has to be a figure that, I really think that Brandon Vera is really good. Mark Munoz is very good. They're both UFC caliber fighters. And then Brandon Vera is now with 1FC. But what I really think they lack is the local connection. Diba? I mean, sa ibang bansa kayo lumaki, di ba?
Yeah.
Kaya feeling ko, ayan, people gravitated towards, Edward Folayang is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
from kasi a lot of people could relate to him because he grew up in the Philippines, he represented the
Yeah.
country, he's a decorated fighter. Now, people are still celebrating that. And ako, kaibigan ko si Edward. Pero and
But
this is,
Edward is soft-spoken. Tanda mo,
yes,
Edward is
yung
not,
pa,
he's not the
diba?
out there guy.
And that will lead to my next question. Do you think that there should be, kasi this is one of my future projects with a few of the professors or yung mga ibang black belts ko later on na who want to improve the MMA community and the MMA industry. Like the importance of athletes' communication skills. Diba? Kasi when you look at foreign players when they get interviewed, they could talk. They could talk, they could articulate, they could communicate, they could speak.
Kasi Amerikano sila. Kasi Amerikano sila.
Diba? Hindi, kahit na yung iba,
English, they'll answer in English, diba?
Hindi, kahit naman yung iba naman may translator diba? Kaya ako, I'm putting it out there because I did post something about this. Like yung mga combat sports pages sa Facebook groups na I was part of. And I told everyone na parang, guys, use this period, okay, to stay strong, polish the skill sets that you already have. I even listed down drills and these are not my teammates. Diba? These are not my students. So sabi ko, then more than anything, diba, do your stupid shit on Facebook, do play whatever mobile games that you're already playing. Pero ito yun you practice speaking and writing straight Tagalog. Polish your Tagalog and then polish your English. You don't have to sound like an American. You just have to speak it clearly so that when people interview you, you can talk better or you can communicate better. Kahit naman sabihin mong you don't have to be articulate. You don't have to be very, very good at speaking. Just say things properly. Kasi Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao. But people can't get over the whole Clito Reyes na di ba? Kasi I'm like, exactly, di ba? And it's still a meme, di ba? People are still playing it. It's turned into a GIF. So for me, more than anything, sabi ko, let's all, di ba? It's good to be a local champion. Sabi ko, it's good to be a local champion. Pero my goal for everyone in here is to win in the country, but at the same time, win abroad. Kasi for example, ako, I've been competing in the local jiu-jitsu scene since 2000 kopong-kopong. I've won everything that needs to be won in this country. So now, my goal is to, like, whenever I have time, I'll compete in jiu-jitsu tournaments here, pero I'll compete more abroad. Diba? I've competed abroad like a lot of times and I've won. And every time I win there, I always carry the flag with me. When people ask me, what team are you from? I don't say my team. I say I'm from the Philippines. So that and it was me, and it's not just me. It's just, there are a lot of other great jiu-jitero athletes that do the same thing. Diba? And I keep telling them, watch out, I'm not the only guy. Sabi ko, there are people who are like me. Diba? There are people like me. Sabi ko, because a lot of people thought that jiu-jitsu was just in Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong. Diba? Then I go like, no, I'm from the Philippines.
I didn't even know jiu-jitsu was in Brazil. I didn't even know jiu-jitsu was in Brazil.
Hindi, it's from Japan, went to Brazil, then from Brazil,
I found out later on, I sabi ko, who is this horse racing guy? Really?
Diba? So I was like,
no, but just to your point they have to want to do it. Somebody's gonna have to say na, hey, I want to do that, diba? Somebody's gonna have the swag to know na, if I don't speak, if I don't improve myself in speaking ko, wala akong mararating. Like Edward is a different case because Edward's always been the soft spoken. It's like Bruce Lee. Every time I see Edward flying, reminds me of Bruce Lee a lot.
Yes.
How about the other guys, diba? I mean, can't they be the people who are talking for Team Lakay also, and then just develop that also that skill set? You might actually be the starter dito. I mean, there has to be a starter for us for that community to explode.
That's why I'm asking you, is it like a good idea like to spearhead something like that? Kasi ako, I want to do it.
I'll help you. I'll
Yeah.
help you if you want to do it. Ganun lang
Yeah.
naman yun eh. Because if that could be a part for them to get more marketing, like I remember talaga sa volleyball, when Eliza Valdez came in, she was the shy girl from Batangas.
Mhm.
Right? She was the shy girl. Magaling na volleyball player, but she was a shy girl from Batangas. Didn't really like to talk very much because she didn't feel that she was good enough to be interviewed, di ba?
Pero
No,
sobrang
she was
galing
a
niya
shy.
eh.
Sobrang galing.
Sobrang galing niya
The
eh.
people from ABS-CBN, when they got in the UAAP, they taught her to talk.
Mhm.
They made her a marketing icon. And
Mhm.
now she's like the biggest female athlete in the country. I dare say that
Exactly.
Eliza Valdez is probably more famous than Hidalyn Diaz.
Yes.
Diba?
That's true.
Because she's Eliza Valdez, because of the way she was marketed, because of now she's actually really a smart girl, but because of the confidence na nakuha niya, she now speaks for volleyball. When she speaks, everybody listens.
Yep.
I think MMA needs that one person who's like an Eliza Valdez who pag nagsalita, and I still believe it's Alvin Aguilar. To this day, I still
Oh
believe. I
yeah,
mean, I
for
met
sure.
Alvin in 2001. I still say the same thing 19 years later. I think Alvin Aguilar is the anointed one in terms of MMA. And if Alvin speaks, everybody listens. But Alvin, if he speaks more, then there'll be more people
More.
listening.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then let's go over to the flip side where the people behind the desk, and then let's put it a little bit from the perspective of the audience. Filipino audience naman. It's like, ito yung ato personal point of view ko lang to. Parang Pinoys want world-class production, world-class athletes, and world-class shows, but they don't want to pay for it. Di ba?
Well, one day it might happen. I remember before 2001, Alvin guested on my show. We had a show called In the Zone.
Mhm.
I just heard about it that he was putting up this parang UFC type event.
Mhm.
Alright? So we invited him over to the show. He came all the way from Alabang. Naunahan pa kami. Our show's at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Naunahan pa kami ni Alvin sa Quezon City. We're having our show in Channel 4 in Quezon City. It's PBS, Philippine Broadcasting Service. Naunahan pa kami ni Alvin. He was so excited. I mean, who are these clowns who want to guest me on their show?
Uh-huh.
So we guested Alvin on our show. Then he talked about it for a long time. And then we told him at the end, hey, congratulations in advance. And he gave us this funny look. We can't even get a sponsor.
Yes, that's true.
And then he
That's
told
true.
me, this is for URCC1. And then he told me na lang, sabi ni Alvin, bro, if you're in the area, it's on this date, come by. I'm going to leave 2 front row tickets for you at the game. So I did a game. I was doing a PBA game in Cuneta. Night sabi ko, Airport Casino Filipino. It's very near.
Yep.
Diba? I should look into this guy. Okay, so I did, after the game in Cuneta, sabi ko siguro maabutan ko pa, mga ilang fights pa. It's 9:30. I tried to go to ACF, Airport Casino Filipino. I was stuck in traffic for an hour in front of Old Domestic. Kala ko may nagbanggaan. Sabi ko, grabe magte-10 na, almost 10:30, text ko lang si Alvin. So I texted Alvin and said, sorry dude, there's traffic here, I can't make it. And hindi niya sumagot. So I just went home. The next day, I find out that this 800-seat theater of Airport Casino Filipino Amphitheater had 3,000 people showed up for this one event. And it caused all that traffic along Old Domestic. And then I was telling Alvin, kayo pala may kagagawin. Sabi ni Alvin, dude, I didn't know what's going to happen. I didn't know we were going to do that. And then they were calling sponsors and everything like that. When they were doing URCC2 in Ultra, sila na tinatawagan, sila na nagbababa ng telepono.
Oh.
See, all you need is that one thing. I mean, I think Alvin has a magic touch that he can actually make this explode if he really chooses to. I know now he's raising his family and everything, but see, Alvin has that magic touch ever since. I've been a fan of Alvin Aguilar since I met him in day one, and I think he has got a magic touch to make anything happen. If he can make MMA explode right now, he can do it.
Diba? Kasi I think it's ano lang we don't lack the talent. We don't lack teams. We don't lack fighters. It's I mean I'm doing my best to like dissect all of this, and then I go like, I think we just need that break. Anyway, you just the same with jiu-jitsu. I'm very much involved in the jiu-jitsu community. I'm like we've been jiu-jitsu's been in the country since 2007, 2005, 2007.
Wow.
Pero I'm like, I think we're making steady strides, and then the performance of the jiu-jitsu team nung SEA Games, I mean, they all showed up. They killed it. They made it possible for people to realize that, yeah, jiu-jitsu's here in the country and we're really good at this. The Philippine wrestling team did the same thing. And then the Philippine Arnis team. So at least it was a good avenue for people to realize that we could
Yeah, but
excel
you
in other.
also, yeah,
Mhm.
but you also said the word you want now. Everything is gratification, instant gratification. Na.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, we're living in this age right now, but you do have to go through a certain process.
Mhm.
Matagal na itong prosesong to. It's taking longer than normal. But if you really stay the course and then just don't look for the instant gratification, one day magugulat ka na lang. It's there. I don't know if
Mhm.
you know Marcos Valda. Do you know Marcos
He's
Valda?
my teammate.
Okay,
He's my
Marcos is one
friend.
of. I predicted that Marcos would win our first Olympic gold medal. Then he screwed up somewhere. I don't know what happened to him.
Got injured.
But he got injured. He screwed
Uh,
up. And I
uh-huh,
just see him fighting in MMA. And I said, what the
uh,
heck is going on?
uh,
He's our best wrestler ever.
mhm.
No, the point nga I was bringing up that's why I brought up Marcos before is yung tipong if he had stayed the course and
Mhm.
stayed as a wrestler, he would
Mhm.
have really been our gold medalist in 2008.
Yep.
The Olympic gold medalist in 2008. But
Mhm.
yun na nga, since he did that, diba, it didn't happen. But maybe there is somebody waiting in the wings who's your next Eliza Valdez nga, who can
Mhm.
actually make that jump happen. But it's still gonna take a process. Diba? Eliza Valdez started playing in the Shakey's V League in 2008. Volleyball exploded in 2012. So you're not looking for
Yeah.
instant gratification. You're going to just ride the wave until finally it gets there. Then one day, magugulat ka na lang na, oh shucks, it's so big already right now. Diba? That's why we're having UFC events here. ONE FC has been here so many times.
Yep.
Diba? So
Mhm.
you're being recognized already internationally as probably an MMA hotbed already
Mhm.
for the world. Diba?
Yeah.
It won't be long before we actually have a regular fighter in the UFC circuit
Yep.
already. At the rate things are going, at the
Mhm.
rate you guys are training these youngsters, diba? But again, it will take some time. But the course has to be stayed, diba? You have to stay there, talaga na. Ibang wag na nga lang, wala naman nangyayari. Oh, that's the worst thing that can happen. Diba? I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah.
Ah, wag na natin to gawin, wala naman nangyayari. That's really bad. The
Yeah.
moment you hear something like that, sapakin mo ka agad because
Mm.
you're out of the vision, diba?
Yep.
You
That
gotta
is true.
stay the course. You gotta stay, as in, focus talaga. As in, might not even happen in your lifetime, malay ba
Yeah.
natin? But it might happen pag matanda ka na, biglang, okay, hey, I was part of that. I was part of
Mm.
when that started. Because we never gave up on it. Ganun lang yun.
Diba? So, let's wrap this up, Sir Noel. So we talked
All
about the
right.
process, storytelling, and staying the course. I love that part. I'll probably listen
Yeah.
back to this episode and like it's gonna help me like stay the course. Okay, so
Yep.
first things first. Ayan, I'm gonna put this on record. When people tell me like why I ended up doing this, it's Reese, it's Champ Louis Pio, and this guy, si Noel Zarate. Okay,
I
they
think
all,
Reese is the most important one of all.
yes, of
Diba? You
course,
you
syempre.
gotta make her happy, right? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
diba? Tsaka uh, the motivation and that very annoying push was her, and then I had, and then I had my teammates, I had my friends, but pero Champ was like one of the really, uh, like it was really like, bro, he took me aside, like, bro, you really need to do this. I really think you're gonna be good at this. Then and then another friend of ours, yeah, si Roda, his name is Roda King, and then um uh one of the matchmakers ng URCC, who's also, he has this very radio DJ voice. His name is Alfred Dialogo, and then later on I chanced upon you guys, your school, and then you kept answering all my questions, and I'm very appreciative of it, and I'll always keep asking questions.
Oh, you better. You
And
better. The moment you stop
yes.
asking questions, something's wrong already.
Something's wrong already. Okay, so Noel Zarate, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for everything.
I
And
just want to give a shout out also nga
yes,
pala to Newbies Broadcasting Academy, Batch 3 Pansit Hipon. You guys know
yes,
who you are? Yes,
our
Pansit Hipon nga. The
batchmates.
President Chicky Pablo, Vice
Mhm,
President Claudia Parayan, and all of you crazy guys in
mhm.
Batch 3. I mean, I love you all. I miss you all. I miss you. Let's stay safe just stay home. Matatapos din to. Hindi
Mhm.
forever ito. But
Yes,
let's
that's
just stay
true.
safe. and just support each other whichever way we can, and then one day we're all gonna just come together and meet, and it's gonna be a blast again.
And then where can they find you, sir? Where can they find you? Your social media, like
My social media is my Instagram is Noel.Zarate. My Twitter account is at Noel Zarate. And then I'm also on Facebook. There's a fan page there. There's a newbies page. I mean, it's everywhere. You just need to look for it.
diba? So Noel Zarate, Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, and don't forget, okay, for those who want to learn what we're doing, Newbies Broadcasting Academy, NBA.
Yeah, that
It's
has a
also
Facebook page and an
yes,
Instagram page
yep,
also, so you can visit that.
Facebook and Instagram. Check out the program, check out the alumni, and if you think that it's for you, this is the best place to get smashed, basically to get smashed and then get reborn.
Oh
Feeling ko yun,
gosh.
you get smashed and then you get reborn. Okay? So,
Yep, yep.
that being said, that is what Coach Franco says. Bye-bye.
Coach Franco Says would like to thank the following sponsors for making this episode possible.
For the best quality gear for your jiu-jitsu training, get your stuff from Knots and Crosses. Order your items on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Awon Coffee, for delicious, locally sourced beans for your daily brew. Get yours now on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Spelled AWON Coffee. Gatorade, because nothing beats Gatorade. For the best DefTac Jiu-Jitsu training out there, check out the following chapters. DefTac Rockwell, DefTac Makati, DefTac Better Living. Book your classes on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Read news about the local martial arts scene here in the Philippines. Visit Local MMA on Facebook and listen to one of my favorite podcasts, Destroy MNL. The insights and lessons people share in my channel are inspirational, motivational, and life-changing. They have to be shared to help others achieve their dreams. Providing value to my community is my advocacy. My life is about making others get better. Please help me make more podcast episodes, video tutorials, and sharing information about martial arts, self-defense, self-protection, education, different cultures through food and travel. Support this channel by clicking the link in the description box. Thank you for your support, and I will keep making content that matters. So that's it, guys. See you on the next episode.